from LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big early morning here on Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over your monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon, a done deal. The Democrats agreed to give you $3.5 trillion of checks, the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. I'll go over all the incredible details in this fourth stimulus recon. Then the vote-in. What happened with that bipartisan group? They said the vote was going to be on the bill on Saturday, then Saturday night, then Sunday, then Sunday night. What happened? What's happening today and what's happening tomorrow? I'll explain all the voting details in the final 15 minutes of this video. The breaking news on this early morning's broadcast. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime if you're on SSI and SSDI in September, just days away. Then we cut to one viewer who got over $50,000 from this channel. I'll show you how you can get this big money as well. Fortunes are available for you, and this is how the Purple Hawks are pouncing. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. Let's get to the deliciousness. Starting right now on Early Mornings LALATE. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, and thank you for joining me all weekend long. You were incredible. I told you that this last weekend there was going to be literally a change of the news every 2 hours and not to leave me on Saturday and Sunday, and you tuned in record numbers, so thank you. And now you're up to date because, boy, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend, and there'll be no time to really recap it at all because there's a lot of changes happening today as well. So how are you? But first, how's the weather? It was gorgeous this weekend. It's still gorgeous this morning as well. Cool in the mornings in the 50s here, and then in the daytimes in the 70s. So jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from. And how's the weather? In this recording, we're going to go over that monthly fourth stimulus check and how many checks those Democrats want you to have. Then we cut to the recon, a done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. It's incredible. This is the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel, and they're all coming to you. I have the latest details in the second part of this video. Then we go over that voting process, what the recon did and didn't do, and what the bipartisan didn't get done on Saturday or Sunday. I'll explain everything that's happening today as well. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up, especially in the next few weeks, and they start legislating on this in just September, just a few days away. And finally, the incredible sums of money that viewers are getting like this. It was $32,000, $23,000, until one viewer changed that and got $50,000. I'll explain to you what he did, and this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Mornings LALATE live on air. Right after this video, stay with it. It'll automatically take you to overnight's crypto playing live on this channel. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Let's get into the breaking details starting right now. Monthly stimulus checks, Democrats, Senate versus House, House versus Senate. Different number of checks and different amounts, starting with the House. Monthly for the pandemic plus 1 year, Senate July to December. Let's go over the payouts. So the House is $1,000 after the first month, and then the Senate amount is unknown, but word on the street is the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Well, the pandemic is far from over with Delta, Delta Plus, and now Lambda at issue. And that means that House bill would pay the full extent of what it writes, which says pandemic plus 1 year. The House bill then would pay you more than 1 year of checks, which would be more than 12 checks, which would be more than $13,000 from the House. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate. House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from And how's the weather? So who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that. If you got a third, you're getting a fourth. Single individuals, 75,000 less. Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 less. Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four. Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats represent. You get a fourth stimulus check. It's not income. It's not taxable, and it would be the same amount to everyone, including adult dependents. But it's not a waivable check. I learned my lesson wrongly so about 3 weeks ago yesterday. I was recording live on the beach, and one of the viewers said, "Hey, LA, is that the check behind you?" I said, Where? Oh, there's the check. Yeah, that's the check. And the viewer said, "Wave at the check." I said, "Really? Come on, wave at the check, LA." Okay. "Hey, check, it's me, LA. I'm not wearing purple, but how are you? Good to see you." Didn't wave back. Rude check. It didn't wave back at me, that rude check. The viewer said, "No, it's not a rude check, LA. It's just not a waivable check. I've seen your videos." Yeah. Not so, yeah. The second stimulus, the waving is just, yeah. Okay, so anyway. I just love it when the viewers know more than I do. The fourth stimulus recon heats up, and the Bernie Sanders excitement can be felt through the camera. Bernie Sanders is celebrating this fourth stimulus recon because it's the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. One of the first things you're hearing today on this morning's broadcast is that in the past, when we talked about stimulus packages, there was a lot of money in those stimulus packages dedicated for businesses like EIDL and PPP. This $3.5 trillion of recon is all for you. And this is the first time we've seen anything of this magnitude. It's absolutely enormous. That's coming up in the second half of this video, all these checks. Then we go over the voting process. What happened with that bipartisan? Why did they not get done over the weekend? It's the final 15 minutes of this video, stay to the very end. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which is about to heat up in just a few days as we go into September. But first, let's get some money. Get a pen and paper ready right now because I'm going to get you some rent, some utilities, some mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. And boy, it's deliciousness. Get that pen and paper ready. I had said when I was recording initially, I can get you 46 months of rent, which is about $5,000. I was wrong. I can't get you $5,000. Nope, I can't. But I can get you $27,000 of rent. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth got $27,000 for rent from this channel. Mark, $25,000. Nancy, $24,000. Richard, $22,000. Nisi, $18,000. One viewer yesterday, I believe on noontime, joined the chat and said they got $18,000, and the other success stories are still coming on in. Pamela getting $12,000 for rent, Carla, utilities, and SNAP. Then Tiffany, $13,000 of rent and also SNAP and utilities. Randy, $6,000 for rent and also utilities. Jennifer, $5,000 of rent and other items. And Cecilia, money as well. When we were talking about utilities, I said I can get you $300, and then this happened. Bam. Wow, that ain't $300. Angela, $5,000, Mark, $6,500, and Nancy, $7,000. Then when we talk about SNAP, money for food, I said $4,000 to $5,000 I can get you. Oh boy. Are you ready for this one? This one's a biggie. Here you go. Oh my goodness, Louie, congratulations, $18,000. John, $10,000 to $12,000, and Nancy, $5,000 for SNAP. And then viewers getting multiple sums of money from getting rent, utilities, or SNAP, or just two of the items. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Bam! Wow, Nancy, $32,000. She got from rent, utilities, and SNAP. Nisi, $23,000 for rent, utilities, and SNAP. And Mark, $32,000 for two items, rent and utilities. And then history became evident. What happened after that? Well, over the week before this, last week, I was recording on camera where I said to Mark, well, Mark, you got two items. Go get the third and bring it to $40,000. You hadn't got to SNAP. If you got rent and you got two utilities, you might as well get SNAP, bring it to $40,000. He was at $32,000. He saw my videos, and then guess what he did? He went and got SNAP. He got it. So do you think he got to $40,000? You think he got $9,000 of SNAP? Well, don't bet me, because you're going to lose. He didn't get $9,000. He got $19,000 for SNAP, bringing his grand total to $50,000 for rent, utilities, and SNAP. And that, my friends, is the true embodiment of LALATE. In spring of last year, I launched LALATE because people's EIDL loans and grants were not getting approved. I didn't launch it just to read news on camera. I launched it to get their money for them. And I got them money. $25 million of EIDL loans. I singularly got people. No one on the planet can anyone take credit for anything that this channel did but that. And it was an incredible accomplishment. I was sometimes doing 10, $250,000, $150,000 loans approved within a day or 2 days. It was insane. Then in fall of 2020, I got viewers $250,000 of rent when second stimulus checks were not coming. They weren't coming. We needed money. So I got them $250,000 of rent. Like Tyrone, his family of four out of Boston, got $15,000 of rent at the time, paid all their rent from December to spring. And now we're doing it again. The only difference is you. You have been absolutely incredible. So get that pen and paper ready, because if you just found this channel today, you've never seen this channel before, or you got one sum of money and you want to get more, or you tried before and you can't get it, you're going to get it today. So get that pen and paper ready. And I'm going to go over the rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowner assistance I want you to get. You can reach out to different places with different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Also, listen for the keywords. The keywords are really helpful for viewers to get approved. They also have different pots of money in different places. You ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Kristen Sinema's popularity contest. She lost. And there you go. Congratulations to everyone who got rent and utilities. Post your success stories in the live chat right now if you're in the live chat, if you got rent and utilities. Now let's turn, also Tim and Linda got congratulations. Now let's turn to SNAP. What is SNAP? It's money for food. Where do you get? Department of Agriculture. How much to pay? A fortune. Eligibility is easier than a stimulus check. A family of four out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Louis got $18,000. Mark got $19,000, and John $10,000 to $12,000. How much does it pay in Hawaii? A family of four in Hawaii gets upwards $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits off 15% between now and December. So go get it. Gail got it. Lynn Glenn got it for her son, herself, and her mom, and I want you to get it as well. If you got Snap, post a live chat. And that brings us to the next pot of the money, but we're only 12 minutes in this video, and we've gotten $27,000 for rent, $19,000 for Snap, $8,000 for utilities, and we're just getting started. The next part of the money is the refund check coming back from your state due to overpayment and a computer error. One viewer got $5,000 from this, another viewer got $3,500. How much does it pay? It's a lot. Where's the line? Direct deposit. Can you track it? Yeah, contact your state. Say, hi, state. Where's that overpayment due to unemployment check? Overpayment of unemployment due to computer error check located? Can you track it for me? And when you track it on a computer this time, can you turn the computer on? Plug in the computer, plug in the keyboard, plug in the mouse. Yeah, just make sure it's working, because that'll help track it, because I know you're at the unemployment department. And there you go. The last part of the money is the refund check coming back from IRS for that 2020 unemployment taxes that you paid. Margaret got it, Todd got it, Michael got it, and guess what? Sorry, Mitch, it's a waivable check. Yes, this waivable check is deliciousness. Apparently, Mark said I think he got $1,400 for this. So the waivable check is about $1,265 this week. Direct deposit started July 16th. July 14th. Mail checks were July 16th. A new wave every week. Before we continue, a personal message. If you're in the live chat, you have not posted success stories for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, please do, because when you do, you help other people. The spirit of this channel is me helping you and you helping others. And when you post your success stories, 3 wonderful, magical things happen about helping. Number 1, when you post your success stories, you inspire other people. So they may be watching, then realizing, wait a second, someone else got rent. I have a rent bill. I can't pay it. I need help with my rent. Or you may have a utility bill at home, gas or electric, and you're like, wait a second, Nancy got a great sum of money for utilities. I should get that as well. Or that people may not know about SNAP, and then they learn from it, the video, and then they realize, I'll get that SNAP as well. Second, viewers like Art Sullivan got 3 items. And he and Nisi inspired people to get 3 items. And then Nancy followed their inspiration and got 3 items themselves. Then along came Mark. And Mark actually heard me on air say, you know what, Mark? You got 2 items. Go get the 3rd. And he got the 3rd, bringing it to $19,000 on that 3rd item. SNAP bringing his grand total to $50,000. And that is finally the last thing that helps us when you share your information. It updates us about the numbers. All right, let's go back to those unemployment benefits. How much? Let's say you have $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You pay $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. You're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah. Go to irs.gov and do a transcript search, and 70% of the time it'll work. It'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. It'll also reveal stuff that you never knew and stuff that you sort of wish you forgot. Like when Chuck and Nancy were on a Star Search together singing. Did they do that Cher and Sunny song, I Got You, Babe? I don't know where that came from. Just sort of impromptu. And there you go. And can we top that? I don't think we can. I can't imagine Nancy with Cher's hairstyle. And we now go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you in the fourth stimulus recon. This is incredible sums of money because remember, third stimulus recon was this big, second stimulus recon was this big, fourth stimulus recon is this big, and the difference is that there's nothing in there for businesses, so it's even proportionally even bigger. It's all checks for you, and it's a fortune of checks, and I get every single one of you those checks that you're eligible for as soon as it becomes law. How do they do this? They did this by taking the roads and bridges out of the recon because they were in there before July 4th, making the recon not passable. Now the recon and the bipartisan, which is where the roads and bridges landed, is passable. The confirmation comes from conservative publication that reports my reporting. First, the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, the roads and bridges, and put it into the bipartisan, their overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable, and vice versa. Can we top that? Yes. As once the recon was shrunk, then the Democrats were able to build it back out a little bit by adding more money in there. And that's what they wanted. Like Representative Richie Torres wanted money in there for housing. He got that by saying, I need a larger recon. You got it, Richie. Congratulations, $3.5 trillion. Ilhan Omar wanted to add some other sums of money in there. She got it because she had said we want a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, $3.5 trillion. And the White House was meeting with the Progressive Caucus daily to ensure they got a big enough recon. They got it, $3.5 trillion. How did they do this? By protecting the recon. The president had told the progressives, protect my recon, because everything in the recon is your policies, my policies, and progressive priorities. Brian Schatz and John Paul confirms the White House's comments. Quote, the White House said the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon their own priorities. Now, you will see how this week starts very differently than how last week started. Last week we started with an eviction moratorium over, and we started last week with student loan debt repayment not frozen. This week we start with the reverse, eviction moratorium back in place, and student loan debt repayment frozen. How did this happen? Because progressives had been pushing like Purple Power hawks to get things changed. And that is why the president has become very aligned with those progressives. Example, Representative Bush, St. Louis, 1st District of Missouri. She heard on last Monday where the president said, I'm ending the eviction moratorium. I don't think it'll hold up in the courts. And she didn't sit back and say that's her fate. She had a nightly vigil pushing the president to extend it. And by the end of the week, he changed his position 180 and said, you know what? I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing that eviction moratorium back in place. And so what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is the difference between the two? And and when are they called for a vote and everything you need to know? Let's go over the details starting right now. Over the last 3-4 weeks, the broadcast media has absolutely butchered the coverage of the subject matter. It's days like this that we sort of laugh because the whole process of the bipartisan really changed dramatically between Saturday morning and Sunday night. And guess who is reporting on it? Me and one print media, and that is it. There's no one else. There's no one else covering all the details of they did this with the vote and they did that with the amendment. So by the time you turn on the TV set, maybe on a Monday morning or Tuesday or Monday afternoon, they're just trying to get caught up on 5,000 changes that you already know. And guess what? They're butchering the story. They're doing a horrible job reporting the story if they ever report on it. So if someone says, why haven't I heard this on broadcast media? Because I think they're just so confused at this point. And I want you to be informed. Who cares about them? There are two words I want you to know: recon and bipartisan. Those are the words I use on this channel. But I want you to know the other terms because they may be said by the president and you don't want to get confused. Recon is also called reconciliation. It's also called the budget bill. You'll recognize it by the price tag, $3.5 trillion. The people quoting an article about it are a Bernie or an AOC. Okay, that's pretty easy. Bipartisan is also called roads and bridges, also called the infrastructure. Price tag $1.5 trillion. People quote an article about it. A Kristen Sinema, Ron Portman, Mitt Romney, or similar like that. That's all easy. Okay, as we get close to the finish lines, it's important to remember who does what for the recon. The recon will be voted 100% against by every member of the Republican Party in the Senate. That's fine. It's all the senators who are Democrats who are going to pass it because all 50-50 Democrat senators say they're passing it with the tie-breaking vote from VP Harris. Who writes the recon? The recon is written by the House subcommittees. And under the Constitution, different subcommittees are delegated different subject matters. So House Ways and Means, stimulus checks, unemployment benefits. When those subcommittees are done, they send their pages up to Chuck. Let's say it's 10 pages from 10 subcommittees. He takes those 100 pages and puts a big S on it for Schumerish, no. Laverne and Shirley, salty, seductive, sugar-coated, no, for Senate. And that's when you see the recon bill for the first time. It will not become law based upon that bill. That bill is going to get very, very modified. More about that later recording. But until we see the bill, we don't know exactly what's in there. Sort of like a pop singer of an upcoming album doesn't want you to have the details released ahead of time. And when they're working things in the subcommittees, they don't have to show you, no constitutional requirement. But we'll have more about how that bill is going to get modified later in this video. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. Well, guess what? We're calling the vote on the recon in just hours from now. Oh boy, I'll have the latest details as well. That's coming up in a second. This letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus House Democrats, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, that's incredible, great news. Can we top that? We can. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee, oh, the one you just went over? Yep, that one. Recently wrote the president a letter saying we're putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, that's a great promise. We got to keep them to that promise, Purple Power. And can we top that? Yeah, they also say they're giving a 5th stimulus check next year. We can. As Biden did it 5 weeks ago, he went overseas to have a ceremonial signature, but the real signature was just a few days ago. It's the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum. And because it's confusing and exhausting to say, it's great news it's not in the recon. Number one. The recon's easier to write because this thing is not in there. It's easier to vote on. It's easier to call the vote on. And it's easier to pass the fourth stimulus recon because this confusing thing of the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum is not in there. And can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video where you'll learn all the details going into Monday morning about what happened over the weekend with the bipartisan roads and bridges. They said it was going to go to a final vote for bill format on Saturday, then Saturday night, then Sunday morning, then Sunday afternoon. What happened? Why did they not get it done? And when does that? What does that mean to when the recon starts voting? I'll have all the details in just a second. We also got to fifth stimulus as well. But first, if you need help with rent or utilities, reach out to the volunteers. They are located on the community page. Open the description of this video. You see an emoji of a house. Click the link. It'll send you over to the community page. It's news.la.com/community. They'll help you with rent, utilities, and food and internet. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with you as this big early morning's broadcast continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m.
a.m. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues on Early Mornings LA right now. As the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and away we go with some more voting and more amendments. Boy, in the final 15 minutes of this video starting right now, I'll go over why they did not get that bipartisan done on Saturday, or Saturday afternoon, or Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon. I'll explain what's going on with these people. Then I'll cut to the recon and what's going on with its vote as well, and also for stimulus. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. This week is going to be a monstrous week. The news cycle is going to change by the minute. It's going to be very confusing at times. I'm going to always make it easy and breezy for you to follow. So you don't want to miss a single video across the board. You don't want to leave for 2 days and come back and say, "Why I missed." You won't be able to follow up. And thank you for watching me all weekend long. That really kept you up to date about everything. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. Like this video and consider becoming a Purple Hawk. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. Stay on this video. I'll automatically take you there. And I'll see you also at 9 a.m. live on air of Mornings LA. Well, when running for the highest land in the country, the President of the United States promised this SSI reform and didn't deliver. And then during the transition time, he said he was going to deliver it again, and he didn't do it then either. So what's going on? The Democratic caucus is taking care of you, and they're doing it in fifth stimulus. When is fifth stimulus? Fifth stimulus heats up this fall. In fact, it heats up within just days from now. In September, SSI reform starts, and that's in fifth stimulus. September, they'll be legislating on this, and then they'll have it to a vote by about November. And that vote for November will put the bank money in your bank account, presumably by November is what they represent. And then they'll apply the benchmark in December to lift your benefits up more for next year. How does this work? Step one, they'll raise your benefits up. Step two, they'll remove the asset limit, add inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, remove the marriage penalty. All right, let's go over how this calculates. First, for who? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries, they'll raise your benefits up lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark will be inflation. They'll apply in December. It will be, as Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, says, transitory. What does that mean? A temporary spike. When? In December. Oh, yes, right when they applied the benchmark. Perfect timing. How high is it going to go? I'm saying about 5%. Yesterday and the day before, some of the videos I went over excruciating detail about where the economic data is sending us. Because the running time is going long because of the voting details, I want to forego that discussion about the economic numbers about inflation. But let's just use 5% for now. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply the benchmark. And if it's 5%, your benefits will go up an additional 5%, not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. Then they'll apply a new bench. Then if the inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you'll be plus 2, plus 5%. They'll remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law. They'll remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law. And they'll remove the marriage penalty. And so if you want to get married, you will no longer lose benefits. You'll be able to do a pair dance and get married at your wedding. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear loss of benefits. And finally, if you were married and lost benefits, your benefits will be restored. Lastly, if you're in the live chat and you notice people that have a Purple Hawk emoji and you don't have one, what are you doing? Join as a member today. The link's in the video here. Join now. By becoming a member, you get access to all the money that is in the third stimulus delivered daily from me to you via the YouTube community page. I write out all the details of how well all this money you can get. Here's what you need to know, is that the Purple Hawks have now learned where the focus is. The tens of thousands of dollars in all these stimulus packages, not the stimulus check. In fall 2020, second stimulus became a law, and it was a $600 stimulus check. I said to viewers, do not be focused on the $600 stimulus check. It will come, but don't focus on it because you'll spend it and then you'll need more money. Focus on the other money that's in second stimulus. And viewers did. And that's why Tyrone got $15,000 paying all his rent bills through the spring. Then early this year, in January, February 2021, third stimulus became law. And some people only focused on a $1,400 stimulus check. They got it, they spent it, and then they said, now what? They didn't focus on what I said, and that because they weren't Purple Hawks or viewers. My Purple Hawks and viewers absolutely understood everything I said, which was focus on the big other monies that are in third stimulus, not the stimulus check. $10, $15, $20,000 money right now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, was what I was saying at the time. And the viewers understood that there was $10, $20, $30, $40,000 in that third stimulus application base for them to get. And they pounced as a Purple Hawk. It's why I created the Purple Hawks membership. Hawk, for you to pounce and get this big money. And now they are winning. They are realizing they can get $27,000, $25,000, $1,700, $1,800. And see now, just like I said in February, that $32,000 is a lot different than a $1,400 stimulus check. $32,000 taking away from your bills is absolutely incredible. So consider becoming a member. Finally, as detailed perhaps early in this video, the federal government looks at you and your bills and says, wow, you got 10 bills at the house, and you got 8 bills that I can pay, but 2 bills I can't pay. I can't pay for the new shoes for the kid, and I can't pay for the fixing the carburetor on the car. But I can fix the other 8 bills, rent, utilities, SNAP, medicine, things like that. Don't sit around and only focus on the stimulus check, because the federal government will pick up the bills for those other items, because a lot of them are in this fourth stimulus recon. And when it becomes law, I'll focus on getting all your bills, as many of your bills paid from this recon that are paid. And now let's turn to the final 15 minutes, starting right now with that recon, $3.5 trillion deal done. In the final 15 minutes, we're going to start with that right now. The Democratic senators have met twice in the last week to agree to pass a recon of $3.5 trillion, number one. Number two, they're going to pass it, they agreed. So all they do is call the vote on the recon. So what is in those checks? We're going to see those details when the bills debut, but here's an initial preview of some of the other items. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, immigration reform checks, farming checks, election checks, free internet checks, and lots of checks for workers and lots of checks for seniors. Checks for workers, independent contractors, unions, Medicare, dental, vision checks, hearing care checks, seniors checks, lowering eligibility age checks. All right, now let's cut over to the voting process with that bipartisan roads and bridges. What's going on with those people? Here's what's going on. A week ago today, last Monday, they introduced the bill for the roads and bridges to the U.S. Senate. From Monday through Friday, they did amendments. Then on Saturday, on Friday, they said, Saturday morning, we're ready to call the vote on the actual bipartisan bill. Saturday morning, they didn't do it. So what did they do Saturday morning? They started doing more amendments. Okay. Then Saturday evening, they said they're going to call the vote on the bill. They didn't do it again. What were they doing? They were voting on the amendments again. They said Sunday morning they're going to do the vote on the bill. Sunday morning came and they still were doing amendments. What was the change? Between Saturday night and Sunday morning, one sole senator, Republican, Tennessee, said, I am not going to block anything, but I'm not going to advance something on a rushed basis. We're going to do it on a normal basis. I don't see why this has to be done on a rush basis. Because everyone's tired. We're sort of tired of this. Can we just sort of rush and get it done? He says, no, we're going to take normal time on this. We're not going to go slower. We're just going to take normal time on this. Who is this guy? So because of his statement, then that changed the dynamic on Sunday. We also, as of Sunday morning, still had more amendments. If you watch Overnight's Crypto, where after this video is over, I go over, those amendments are the crypto amendments. The crypto amendments have still not been agreed upon by Sunday morning. And so with the crypto amendments not agreed upon, and this guy saying, Tennessee senator saying, you know what, I'm not going to do things faster. I'm not going to block it, but I'm not going to do things faster. Then what happened? This happened. Suddenly, the roads and bridges bill would not be called for a vote on Sunday, but Monday and Tuesday, reportedly, today and tomorrow, the roads and bridges would go through a 50-day votorama. What? Now, it doesn't make sense. I got it. Why are they doing a vote-a-rama when they've already done 7 days of amendments? That was the purpose of doing the amendments. You have to do the vote-a-rama. It is redundant. It's not like there's extra amendments sitting around they haven't done. So they could be just twiddling their thumbs for 50 hours because they have to do a vote-a-rama. They're sitting around because this guy, had the guy said, no, you can do the fast track, I'll let you do the fast track, they wouldn't have to do a vote-a-rama. So what's the net result of this? The guy's taking up 2 more days of everyone's time. Yeah, okay. So the bipartisan will likely get done by Tuesday and end its vote-a-rama. That means that the recon starts on Wednesday. The recon starts on Wednesday in the Senate, and most indications at the moment from Chuck Schumer is that the Senate will do 50 hours of vote-a-rama on the recon and be done with it right after that. Now, let's see if that holds true or whether they add an extra day or something onto the recon. All right, that means that the recon, you would see the bill, you would see it debuting around Wednesday in the Senate side, potentially done as early as Thursday, but maybe it's a few more days. All right, let's turn over to the issue of first in time. I know that Chuck said that the recon was going to go first in the Senate, and he didn't do that. But that's not much of a worry for us because there's 2 gatekeepers, the president and Nancy being the most important one. The president has said the following, that he will not sign the roads and bridges if that's all that lands on his desk in the White House. He also has to have the recon land simultaneously. The bipartisan, if it only comes to me and that's the only thing that comes to me, I'm not signing it. They have to come to me in tandem, recon and bipartisan. Then he also says, I'm not just signing the bipartisan, forgetting about the recon. I propose another piece of legislation, the recon, and they're equally important. Okay, that's the president. So he has your back protected. Then there's Nancy. Nancy has made it very emphatically clear that if you send her in the House from the Senate, the roads and bridges only, she's thrown in the wastebasket. What does the wastebasket mean? It categorically means that she will not call for a vote in the House and it'll die. Now, here's something broadcast media no one else is picking up because no one's really covering the subject in the detail that I am, is that Nancy can kill it another way. She could just never bring the House back into session. The House is not in session at the moment. And if you just send her in the House the roads and bridges and not the recon, she can say, fine, I'm not calling the House back into session. The session is done. What does the session mean done? Well, there's a spring session of Congress and a fall session. If she calls it done, the roads and bridges is dead. Because if you don't pass in the spring, it's not like you can hold it over and take care of it in September. No, we're done. So she has that in her back pocket. No one's really picking up except me. But I don't think she has to do that because I think they're going to pass the recon in the next, potentially by Wednesday. All right, so then we have the quote from Nancy about the garbage can. And here's how she has it. Nancy knows when a quote is going to go viral, and this quote went viral. As I said, there won't be a bipartisan bill if we don't have the recon bill as well, plain and simple. In fact, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan bill unless we have the recon bill passed by the U.S. Senate as well. Very, very strong words because she knew the quote was going to go viral. It was everywhere. This weekend, it was in every single article. Then Jalapal says the House Democrats have Nancy's back. We did a poll of our House Democrats, and the overwhelming majority says they're not going to vote for the recon and they're not going to vote for the bipartisan unless they also have the recon. Okay, so they got your backs, all fine. So now let's go to the dates. When would we likely see that recon voting path start? As early as Wednesday. It can't go before Wednesday because the vote-a-rama for the roads and bridges is 50 hours. So that's at least Monday and Tuesday. And then we have potentially, if that's done then we have the recon starting Wednesday. How quickly can the recon be done? 50 hours, but maybe it's a little bit more. Then it goes over to the House. With the 2 items go to the House, the recon and the bipartisan. They modify them, and then they go back to the Senate again, and they modify them, and the president signs the law. Okay, now let's go to the issue of in session. The House is not in session. The Senate is in session. The Senate is in session in the longest session it's been in for almost 10 years. This is a very long session. They've been working every single day for 3 weeks, 16-hour days, no breaks, even working Saturdays and Sundays. They're losing steam. It helps us because they don't have a lot of energy left, and they're elder statesmen. On the Senate side, on the House side, Nancy or Steny Hoyer can put the House back in session with a memo within 24 hours if they have to, when the recon is ready for a vote. All right, let's go now to the substance of the recon. This is one of the most important things of this video, which is the substance of the recon. When the recon debuts in bill format on the Senate side, potentially as early as Wednesday, on day one of voting, guess what? That is not going to look like the final law. Why? Even though it's been written by subcommittee members who are Democrats, the Democratic senators and the Democratic House members say, I'm modifying it because I haven't seen it. And that's great news for us because modification always helps. The recon may be flawed and may leave stuff out. And we've been through this before where things are left out and they put it back in. And in the true spirit of Purple Power, getting things fixed is exemplified by what happened a week ago today. A week ago today, no eviction moratorium, no student loan debt forgiveness for frozen. And people did not accept that as the fate. They pushed, Purple Power pushed. And Representative Bush, St. Louis, sat on Capitol Hill with two nightly vigils, pushing the president to change his course and put the eviction moratorium back in the books, and she got it. And then Warren and Sanders pushed to get the student loan debt forgiveness frozen. They got it. That's how you change history. So when you see that recon debuted on the Senate side, that is not how that final law becomes. It will be modified. So if something's wrong, push Purple Power, push right away. First step will be the Senate will make amendments, and those Senate Democrats will modify it. Then we go over to the House, and the House has a lot of progressives, a lot more than the Senate. And those House Democrats, if there's something wrong, they will modify it. And with that, a lot of details across the board. Meantime, for more information about that crypto amendments and why that's so critical to this bipartisan, stay with this video. I'll detail it on Overnight's Crypto coming up right after this video. You don't have to do anything. It'll automatically take you there. That's currently playing live on the channel. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers are YouTube record. I want you to part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Also coming up at 9 a.m. is Mornings LALATE live on air, and noontime 11 a.m. as well. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning. The toast is toasting, the butter was buttering, the coffee's brewing, and stay with LALATE for more.